Hi everyone, how are you? I'm Kirsti Gwynn. I'm the founder and coach of PositiveEQ, and I help people to let go of their fear and feel calm and to feel content with where they are in life so they can be genuinely happy in all areas of life. I'm also the host of the Genuinely Happy Facebook group where we talk about exactly those three things that I've just mentioned. And if you'd like to join, I'd absolutely love to have you there, and I'm sure all of the Facebook group members would love to have you too. And I've put a link in the description of this video for you to join really easily. So today we're going to be talking about how to have more discipline for your goals. And this is kind of a follow-up to last week's topic. We spoke about feeling pressure from society and the anxiety that can come around that. And one of the things that we touched on was a reframing of goals, and we're going to go a lot deeper into that. So all of us set goals at some point, right? And something that you might struggle with is noticing that you don't have enough motivation to keep going. Maybe at the beginning you feel really motivated to achieve everything you want to achieve, and then it just kind of wanes and you find that you don't have the discipline to keep at it, essentially, and to keep persistence and persevering with your goal to achieve whatever you want to achieve. And the problem why this happens is that often we frame our goals incorrectly. And if we kind of word them wrongly, I know it sounds like a simple thing, but if we frame them wrongly, this can make them feel really overwhelming, and it can actually make them feel unachievable. And how we think about our goals, the specific way and the formula that we use to set them, makes a big difference to how motivated we're going to feel. Your brain likes to be kind of have things a specific way, and it likes to be programmed a certain way, and just making a simple shift in the way that you describe a goal, this is the same goal, we're just changing the framing of it, can make a huge difference to how much discipline you have. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. So in last week's live, I touched on the idea of expectation and how when we say to ourselves, I should do this year, or I really should, do that. I should start a business. I've been wanting to do it for years, something like that. It's really different than if we frame it as a desire. I don't know about you, but I think I have met, tons of people over the course of my life, and I don't think I've ever met anyone who was really motivated by what they were expected to do. Most of us, we're motivated when we feel like something's our desire, when we feel like I want to do that and it's my choice to do it, I'm autonomous in it. And so one of the shifts that we made last week was, let's take away the expectation. Let's stop talking about should, and let's turn that into desire instead and say, I want to do the specific thing. A way that I kind of think about this in myself is I have been wanting to write a book for a while, on emotions and how we can manage ourselves and everything like that. And I've realized that, until this year, I've kind of always said, oh, I should get to that, I should do it. And this year I've been saying, I want to write a book. And it's just the minute that I say that, I'm kind of filled with motivation and I feel really excited to do it. Whereas if I tell myself I should do it, it doesn't fill me with any sort of motivation. It, in fact, brings a bit of anxiety. Okay, like, when am I going to do it? I have to do it. And so even when I'm the person telling myself what to do, I notice such a difference in how much motivation I have, and how I frame that therefore really translates into, do I actually go and do it? What am I motivated by? And so today's live, the shift that we're going to be making is that we're going to be looking at how changing your goal from an outcome goal to a learning goal can make a huge difference. So research has found that when people frame their goals as learning goals rather than outcome goals, we are just so much more likely to achieve them. So the difference between an outcome goal and a learning goal sounds pretty obvious, right? And it kind of is. An outcome goal is where we just see the finished product, right? And something like that. I want to write a book, right? I want to save more money. I want to get a job that I actually like. Those are outcome goals. And learning goals instead focus on the process of achieving that goal. So I want to learn what it takes to write a book. I want to learn how to be kind of more financially savvy and save more money. I want to learn what I really like in a job. You see how that's completely different, and it's much more process orientated. And the minute that you say it like that, you're much more clearly able to see the steps of how you get there. So if we look at those specific examples that I gave, so I'm going to save more money this year. When we just frame it like that as an outcome goal, we don't really have any indication of how we're going to achieve that. But when we say, I'm going to learn what it takes to save money this year, and then I'm going to implement that, we have actionable steps, right? This is quite different to what you might have heard with goal setting and SMART goals, but we're talking about something completely different here. We're talking about rather focusing on the process, okay? So when you say, I'm going to learn what it takes to save money and to be more financially savvy, I can then really picture what you're going to do with that. Maybe you're going to go down to the library and you're going to get a book, or you're going to go to the shops and you're going to buy yourself a book on saving money. Maybe you're going to watch YouTube videos. Maybe you're going to chat to friends who you know save really well. And can you see how you're just therefore going to be much closer to your goal? If, for example, your goal is, I want to get a job I love, and this is something I hear a lot, and people just feel really overwhelmed and daunted by that because they say, I want to get a job I love, but I don't know where to start. If we reframe that as, I'm going to learn what I really would like to have in a job, that is a process of self-exploration and kind of adventure. I'm going to go and find out what I like. And then I can just picture you saying, okay, well, I'm going to job shadow. That's how I'm going to find out what I like. I'm going to take a strength test. I'm going to find out what my strengths are. I'm going to go see a career coach. And because you're focusing on that process, you're just so much more likely to get to that outcome at the end of the day, to that goal. If your goal is, I'm going to start my own business, first decide, I'm going to learn what it takes to start a business. And I can then see you again doing the research, finding the knowledge. And similarly, I want to talk about relationships. And if a goal this year is that you're saying you want to get into a relationship, rather than just feeling really out of control with that and saying, oh, I hope someone likes me, I hope I meet someone, it's actually take a bit of your control back and say, I'm going to learn what makes a good relationship. I'm going to learn what leads to attraction. I'm going to read about it. I'm going to chat to friends who are in great relationships. And I'm going to empower myself, essentially. And can you see that just, we can always control, so we can always control whether we learn about something. We can't always control whether we achieve an outcome. It's not always in our control. But learning about it, ironically, makes it much more likely that we're going to achieve it. So what we're doing is we're really taking a bigger step back, and we're doing something that's much more empowering, much more within your power. It's just going to set you up to have more discipline, and I'll explain why. So when you have knowledge, discipline increases. And this is why, 3 reasons. Number 1, you can't have all that new knowledge and not use it. You're going to really struggle to do that, okay? And so what I'm saying is that if you have gotten a good understanding of what leads to good saving habits, so this is the goal, you want to save more money. If you have gone and now you've learned and you've watched some amazing interviews with people who are really money savvy, and you have a good idea of what you should be, where you can save and where you can spend and what accounts you can have, things like that, you can't unknow that knowledge. And that's going to change your behavior, and that's going to influence your discipline, right? Because you have this motivation and great understanding that's coming in. You're automatically going to integrate that information. Your brain loves to learn helpful stuff, and it likes to integrate it. And you're going to find it so much easier because you're going to have that knowledge. You're going to find automatically putting that into practice. If you are learning about, starting a business, and you've learned marketing tactics, and you've learned, again, financial tactics, and you learn all the different things like that, there's no way that you're going to be able to go and start that business and just ignore what you learned. You're going to automatically channel into those areas. Sometimes this has to be conscious and sometimes not so much. So if you, for example, read some relationship books and you realize that, hey, there's something that was really useful to you and it really touched you, there's no way you're going to be able to go into a future interaction and not be aware of that. You are going to be aware of it, right? It's going to be automatically integrated into your behavior, and you're going to find that you're doing it. Not always perfectly, but that awareness is going to be there, and it's going to kind of sit there, and even if you don't get it right the first time, you're going to find that automatically that knowledge doesn't go away, and your discipline is going to be higher, and whether it takes you 5 attempts to get it right or not, you're going to just integrate that knowledge way better, rather than feeling that you're kind of just trying to do something. Secondly, the more knowledge we have, the more results we're going to see. And the truth is that success does keep us motivated. We all experience this. And when we try and achieve a goal and we don't have extensive knowledge, there's just a much higher chance that you're going to fail. That's the reality. It doesn't mean we always will, but there is a higher chance when we're just trying to do something that it's not necessarily going to work out. And when things don't work out, it's really hard to stay motivated, and it's really hard to keep disciplined and to keep persistent and keep persevering on with it. It's just going to take a lot more energy from us. When we have knowledge, we can get our results quicker, and that success is just going to keep you disciplined and keep you motivated. Thirdly, learning is kind of fun, right? And it's a form of achievement in itself, because when you learn something new, you can actually kind of feel yourself moving towards your goal. You were closer after that knowledge to your goal than you were before you knew it. And so in fact, all of this gathering knowledge and learning just sets you up for success, because it feeds into your motivation and it feeds into your discipline. So lastly, what I want to talk about, and I'm going to go into my Genuinely Happy Facebook group, because I always give a special tip to my members in there. And I'm going to go in there, and what I want to talk about is the idea that we can only learn how to do something when we're in that situation. So I have a lot of people say to me, but we can only really learn how to be in a relationship when we're in a relationship, or we can only learn how to run a business when we're in a business. We can only learn how to be in a job when we're in a job. We'll only know what we love, in a job when we find it, right? And yes, I agree that experience is the greatest teacher. In fact, it will, will always be a challenging experience to really go and implement knowledge, for sure. But the more knowledge we have, the more results we're going to see. That's just true. And yeah, so that's the idea that I want to go and talk about in my Genuinely Happy Facebook group. And I just want to see what your thoughts are on that. So if you'd like to join that discussion, you can join in the link above, and I'll add you right away. So I hope that you have an absolutely wonderful week, and I'll see you next week for some more Wednesday wisdom.